Shaping Tomorrow, the AI Revolution in Education.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here on this stage today and have the opportunity to express my views on something that's very close to my heart, education. This is truly something that I believe is the fundamental foundation of everything that we do in our society, of our mere existence. Education is something that can grow a society, that can sustain a society, and even lead to its decline, right? The quality of education is the fundamental foundation of each and everything. Just take a pause, observe, look around us. We are all from the business fraternity. How everything that we do, the way we operate, the way we set our goals, the way we execute our projects is changing. It's changing faster than we can imagine. Like Jaden mentioned in the previous panel, right? It's just happening already. It's on us, whether we are able to accept it, whether we are able to embrace it, or we live in denial that, nah, it's not happening. So it's already happening in everything that we do around us, in the business world now, as we speak. Now, who are the ones who are going to be running these businesses 5 years down the line, 10 years down the line, the next generation? So if the future, the working world is changing, isn't it really important that we give it a serious thought that our next generation, we prepare them, and we prepare them well enough to run the organizations of tomorrow? And that's what I want to drive on a journey with you today. In the next couple of minutes that I have with you, I want to go through a journey of where we were, where we are, and where we have the potential to go when it comes to revolutionizing the education space as well. Let's start with the last 5 decades as we see, right? Starting from 1970s to leading to 2010, it all started with first increasing the access, like making education popular, then led to standardizing of education. That is where the SATs came into picture. Then introduction of computers in the 1990s, that changed the game altogether. Online learning came in 2000s, which have increased 900% since then. And 2010 introduced the personalized learning, human-centric, where a lot of data started becoming available and teachers started utilizing these data analytics tools to tailor their teaching methods for students. 70% of the students, according to various studies, have very clearly indicated that personalized learning is the right way in which they feel embraced. How did this happen? Technology. Right? Throughout this last 5 decades of journey, if you see, there's one constant. Everything has changed, but there's one constant which has enabled that change, and that is technology. And if the last 50 years were about embracing, was about openness, was about putting up a technology stack in place, the next 50 years, as the 70% of the students have highly recommended, is about personalized learning. And that's where AI comes into picture. And the future is not 10 years from now. As I said at the beginning, it's already happening. It's literally right now. And it's not about us questioning it anymore. It's about, it shouldn't be why, it should be how. How can we make it a part of our lives? How can we make it a part of our educational system? As I said, and I want to re-emphasize it, you may hear me saying it many times over in this presentation. 10 years from now, 5 years from now, or already in our company, I run a gaming studio back in India. We are very aggressively implementing AI tools in everything that we do to make our lives efficient. So if that's the work culture, how can we ignore the people who are going to run these businesses and not provide them the right set of education to use AI tools? What can AI do for in the educational space? What is it doing throughout? And then let's apply it to the educational space. It really analyzes a wide range of data and make it personalized for everybody's use. Not only does it help you answer some of the questions that you may have from the wide range of data that it is available, it also helps you predict. It creates a pattern. It makes it personalized. Now, the way I use any system, it can be much different than the way you use it. So the responses you get should be different than the responses I get. That's the actual personalization. AI helps us achieve that. Imagine that implication in education. Every kid's learning pace is different. Every kid's studying style is different. Their preferences are different. How can we have a standardized approach for each children? How can we have a standardized approach for every student I may like math much more. You may not like math. You may like science more. So the way a teacher should teach me should be different than you. If there are tools available which allows us to judge this, predict this, and modify our teaching approaches, that's what makes the students of tomorrow. Now, this is a very strong quote that I strongly believe in. Just imagine a world where every student received a personalized education, tailored to their unique learning style and needs. That actually feels like something which is going to make a difference, right? Why do we have the education system in place? Education system is not in place just as a tick box, right? It is there to make a difference. It is there so that we can shape the future. It is there so that we can prepare the children to become leaders for tomorrow. We have to provide them the right set of tools. But again, right, whenever we talk about a revolution, that does not come without any challenges. And like Rear Admiral Grace Hopper said, the most dangerous phrase in the world is, we have always done it this way. Amazing. Why do we see that? What do we fear? This is what scares us, that AI is going to kick us out, is going to take our jobs, is going to replace us. But is that true? I don't think so. The reality is this. AI is our friend. Is there to assist us. Can your assistant replace you, ever? If you say yes, that's going to be a problematic statement. No, right? Your assistant is there to assist you, make your life easier. AI is our assistant. Problem starts when we start airing AI as our replacement. Nope. There's a famous quote that is going around the internet, right? AI is not going to take your jobs. AI is going to take the jobs of the people who don't know how to use AI. Similar concept applies in the educational space as well. Now let's look at some of the most important benefits that implementing AI in the educational system can bring to us. Number one is what I've already talked about, hyper-personalized learning. And when I say hyper-personalized learning, it's different from what started in 2010 about personalized learning using data analytics tools where teachers manually started modifying their teaching techniques. It's about, imagine when I'm sitting in an online classroom, the system can trace whether I'm paying attention, whether I'm liking it, whether I'm not liking it, and the response that comes from the system is tailored around my preferences. That's the power. If I'm playing a game, and I'm going to talk about it later, we are at Sigma, come on, how can we not talk about games? If I'm playing a game, an educational game, the level designing changes according to my response. The system can understand that I'm finding it difficult. I'm finding it easier. I may need some help. And it coaches me accordingly. That's hyper-personalized learning. That's possible by using AI technologies. The second is democratization of education. What I mean by that is it makes it more accessible. It breaks any language barriers. It breaks any socioeconomic barriers. It's available across the geographies. You can modify it. Language changes. All that becomes possible. The new teaching assistant, like I mentioned, right? Now, teachers as well. Now, there is, again, one thing that whenever I speak about this topic, some teachers gets a little upset that, hey, if students are going to start using AI tools and start learning from an AI tool, why are we required? The actual fact is, this is going to be the best tool that teachers also can get. Imagine how important it can become or how fun teaching can become if you know how to teach your child. What approach do you need to take with every child? That's actual teacher-student connection. So this can become an assistant to the teachers as well. And of course, the gamification of education. Let's talk about that. What is gamification of education? And what is educational games, right? Now, these are very two different concepts. One is gamifying education. You pick up a topic, you implement game-based learnings, and you create some level designing around an educational topic. Let's say 10 plus 2 is equals to 12, but you can do it in some more engaging manner. That is gamification of teaching 10 plus 2. Or you create games where for kids, they are having a fun time playing a game, but subconsciously, they end up learning something. What do I mean by that? Let's take an example. I'm playing a game where I have to take over the galaxy. To take over the galaxy, I have to take over a planet. To take over the planet, I have to take over 4 moons. Every moon is a number. I get a dice of cards. I get 2 cards, 2 different numbers. Using those 2 numbers, plus, minus, multiplication, division, I have to arrive at a number which is the number of a moon. If I get that right, I get to take over that moon. And like that, if I take over 4 moons, I take over the planet. For a kid, this is a fun game. But subconsciously, he's learning maths. That's game-based learning. With using AI technologies, this becomes completely personalized. Now, when you're playing that game, the technology can trace, okay, is the kid finding it difficult to find what is 10 plus 2? Should the next dice be a little easier? Should the next dice be a little different? That's personalization. That's power. And let's take an example here. Dragon Box Number is one game which is used to teach maths for children. It has been used in over 4,000 classrooms already and has resulted in a 40% increase in student engagement. And there's a study by the University of California which proved that a proper marriage of educational games with the traditional curricula results in a 30% increase in the overall educational outcomes. Studies are proving it. Students are loving it. We are seeing it happening in the business world. Now it's time we implement it in our educational system as well. And in a world where technology is reshaping industries, it's time we talk about its most noble education, like I said, education. This is my favorite section of this presentation, right? What are we talking about? We're talking about education, artificial intelligence, and we are talking about intelligence. What does it mean? I'll quickly run over this. Intelligence is the end goal, is the ability to learn, reason, and solve problems. That's what we thrive to achieve. The educational system is built to allow us to become intelligent. Education is the process through which we achieve intelligence, right? That's the process. Artificial intelligence is something which mimics cognitive functions. It makes the process of achieving intelligence much more easier. So if education is actually a process, so shouldn't we always on the thrive to make that process as efficient as we can? And that's where artificial intelligence comes into picture. And when these three circles combine, we are talking about a revolution. On that note, I would like to invite for a moment of silence for the age of static curricula. Rest in peace. Thank you very much.